Mike is just going to grab the, a copy of it.
Oh, okay. I can start going.
Yeah, then I can read the minutes once we get started. I mean,
Yes, sir. The announcements. Okay. Looks like everyone, Michelle, Jim, Roy. Yeah, Billy. All right. Time's now 6:30. In accordance with Chapter 2, the Acts of 2025, the Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, 6:30 public meeting of the Wrentham Select Board shall be conducted remotely. The public is invited to join in via Zoom or be with Selectman Harrington at the Town Hall in the Botash Conference Room on the second floor. The login information was posted to the website, so the public had that. And as a preliminary matter, this is Select Board Chair Chris Gallo. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on this agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. We'll start with Selectman James Anderson.
Anderson's here.
Great. Selectman Bill Harrington.
Harrington here.
Selectwoman Michelle Rouse.
Gross, yes.
Selectman Roy Lamothe.
Lamothe here.
Great. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Town Manager Mike King.
Present.
Assistant Town Manager Greg Enos.
Present.
Executive Assistant Amanda Vazzapolo.
Present.
Great. All right, meeting's now open. Just want to say welcome to all the guests that we have. We have a fairly decent agenda, so we're going to get through that. We also have a 6:35. Cannot start the public hearing before 6:35. So what I'd like to do, if possible, is I'd like to go to tab 2 or slide 2, tab 1, and I'd like Selectman Harrington to read the announcements if he would.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the agenda items, 2026 dog licenses are now available with the town clerk's office. The deadline to license your dog is February 28th, 2026. The application can be found on the town website. Contact town clerk's office for more information. An overnight parking ban on public street is in effect December 1st through April 1st. Vehicles found to interfere with snow operations may be towed to a storage area at the expense of the owner. Annual town election nomination papers are now available through February 11th with a return date of February 13th. Contact the town clerk's office for more information. A candidates forum will be held on Thursday, March 5th, 2026 at the Fisk Library at 7 p.m. This event is being sponsored by the town and moderated by Michael McKnight. This is an opportunity for residents to hear directly from candidates prior to voting. Have questions you'd like to pose to the candidates? Submit them on the town website or email candidatesforum@wrentham.gov. The Roderick School Building Project is holding a community forum on Wednesday, January 28th. An operational tour will begin at 6 p.m. with a presentation starting at 7 p.m. Real estate and personal property tax bills are due on February 2nd, 2026. Pay in person or online or by mail. Please return your 2026 census forms to the town clerk's office. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you so much. Excellent job. Before we get to the public hearing, I'd like to go to the next tab, which is tab number 2, and we're going to approve the minutes. So at this time, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the January 6, 2026 open session meeting minutes.
So moved.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson, second by Selectman Harrington. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse?
Yes.
Anderson?
Anderson's yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
Lamothe?
Lamothe, yes.
Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. Looks like we have 30 seconds. Yeah, I don't want to rush any of the other things. Actually, I could take, let's do this. Let's go to, if it's okay with you guys, let's go to tab 7. This is in a resignation. So unfortunately, we have before us this evening a resignation of Bill Burns from the Zoning Board of Appeals. We have a letter of resignation in our packets. Selectman Harrington, sorry to give you a lot of work back to back. Do you mind reading the letter into the record, please?
No. So it's from William Burns to William Casabera, Gene Lightbody, Sean Goff, Dan Humphreys, Joe Cameron, Jim Lawrence, the SBO office. Letter of resignation. Dear members of the Wrentham Zoning Board of Appeals and Mr. Chris Gallo, Select Board Chair, I'm writing to formally notify you of my decision to resign from my position as Chair and member of the Wrentham Zoning Board of Appeals, and as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals effective February 1st, 2026. As I reflect upon my time serving on this board, I am filled with appreciation for the outstanding support each of you has provided me throughout my tenure. Your unwavering dedication, professionalism, and willingness to engage in open discussion have made my experience as chair both rewarding and memorable. I'm especially grateful for the way you have approached our work with authenticity and candor, even in the moments when our opinions differed or our perspectives did not fully align. You remain true to yourselves and the values you brought to the board. This honesty and willingness to respectfully debate our positions have elevated our discussions and fostered a spirit of collaboration that I have cherished. The camaraderie we have built together is something I hold with high regard and is an aspect of my service that I will always remember. The mutual respect, trust, and friendship among the board members have been the foundation of our success, and I am grateful to have been a part of such a dedicated and thoughtful group. By informing you of my intention to step down, I hope to provide the board with ample time to consider and identify who should lead this board into the future. I am confident that the strength of our team will ensure a smooth transition, continued excellence in servicing our community. Thank you once again for your support, your partnership, and the memories we have created together. I look forward to seeing the board continue to thrive in the years ahead. With sincere appreciation, William J. Burns.
Thank you, Selectman Harrington. I got to say, that's one of the most well-written and nicest resignation letters I've seen in a long time, both in my professional career and my tenure here as a select board member. So it is with much regrets that we have to make this motion for Bill Burns. I just want to personally, I just want to personally say to Bill, your resignation letter was well thought. It's heartfelt and it hits home with this board. We support you and we have supported Bill and the ZBA, and will continue to do so. And I really do appreciate his service to this community, as he served us for, quite a tenure. So at this time, Chair would like to make a motion to accept with regrets the resignation of Bill Burns from the Zoning Board of Appeals.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson, second by Selectwoman Rouse. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse.
Yes, with regrets.
Selectman Anderson.
Anderson, yes, with regrets.
Selectman Harrington.
Regrets.
Selectman Lamothe.
Lamothe, yes, with regrets.
And Gallo, yes, with regrets. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, let's go to the public hearing now. Okay, this time we're going to have our public hearing, and we have Ann Fisk, our town clerk, with us. In our packets, we have the hearing notice. This is the vote by mail. We do this every year. So at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to open the public hearing for vote by mail for April 6, 2026 annual town election.
So moved.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson, second by Selectman Harrington. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse.
Yes.
Selectman Anderson.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Selectman Harrington.
Yes.
Selectman Lamothe.
Lamothe, yes.
Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. Now the chair would entertain a motion to waive the reading of the public hearing notice.
So moved.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Sorry, second by, I think it was Selectwoman Rouse. Any further discussion? Being none, if it wasn't, I apologize. We'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse.
Yes, in a very feminine voice.
Sorry about that. Selectman, I'm trying to multitask. Selectman Anderson.
Anderson's a yes.
That's a deep voice. Selectman Harrington.
Harrington, yes.
Selectman Lamar.
Lamar, yes.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry, Roy. And Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, so here we are. Public hearing is open. We have with us our wonderful town clerk, Ann Fisk. I'll turn the meeting over to you. Can you give the board a brief understanding of what we're trying to accomplish this evening?
Sure. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you wonderfully.
Excellent. Great. Thanks. Okay. So I'm here to review the in-person early or vote by mail for the upcoming town election on April 6, 2026. The Votes Act of 2022 requires that early vote by mail is mandatory for local elections unless the select board holds a public hearing and public roll call by no later than 45 days prior to the annual town election, which is where we are tonight. And the board votes to opt out early vote by mail. Otherwise, we're required to have it. We have not had vote by mail, early vote by mail the last 4 elections. I do not recommend that we have it. It doesn't seem necessary. If any voter anticipates they may not be available to vote in person between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. on election day, they can certainly request and obtain a absentee ballot from us with no challenges, no issues. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. If I was concerned that we would lose some voters, I would not recommend it, but it just cannibalizes the early voting, cannibalizes the absentee voting. It's a wash.
Okay.
It's
No,
extra
well
work and
said.
money and resources for our office if you do it.
And that was my concern, Ann. And in the past,
Yes.
this has been the board's concern as well. We offer other options, like you said, absentee voting. So those people still have every opportunity to vote. It was my understanding that when we did offer it, turnout was kind of low. There's a decent cost associated with putting this on that the taxpayers pay. So I believe Mike King, it's been a pretty regular vote of the board not to pursue this, if I'm not mistaken. Is that a fair statement?
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so board members, does anyone have any questions or comments for Ann Fisk before I bring this to a vote?
Mr. Chair, I just think that any opportunity we give the voters to vote is something we should be limiting them, be it by in-person, absentee, or by mail. Doesn't seem fair to me, as it didn't last year or the 2 years before that. And I think we should offer any opportunity to the voters to have the choice and the ability to vote. That's all.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that comment. Does anyone else have any comments?
Mr. Chair, can we ask Ann to go through what the process is to get an absentee ballot?
Yes,
Sure.
please. Please go ahead, Ann. Thank you. Great
Sure.
question.
So you just fill out, it's actually the same process. It's basically a duplicate process as voting by mail. Early voting by mail and absentee voting are the same process. You have to fill out a form and then you have the ballot mailed to you. Then you return it and we process it. But we have 2 separate database systems for absentee and for early voting by mail. So it's it's duplicate work, it's duplicate tracking, and it's duplicate processing, redundant processing at election at the polls for the same ballot. We literally send out the same ballot. You just have a different form, a different database process. So it adds more time. We haven't budgeted for extra time or resources to do it. And I don't have any evidence that it actually increases the voters. If it did, I certainly would recommend it. I talked to the board of registrars previously about this, and they're comfortable as well with this.
And if someone is going to fill out an absentee ballot, or if we were to approve the vote by mail document, both of those documents, do they come in and complete that, or is that done online?
They can do it by mail as well.
Okay.
It has to be signed.
Okay.
We don't
Okay,
have the
so-
online option
Okay.
at this point. Also, just a sidebar, we are open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on election day. We're only required to be open 4 hours. So we go way beyond the minimum requirement as a town for our hours on election day.
Okay.
We could revisit shortening that election day if we're going to implement early voting to help balance out the time and cost for this change.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sure.
Great question, Selectwoman Rouse. Any other questions, comments before I close the public hearing?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes. Oh, public comment. Is that what you're gonna say, Mike King? I'm reading your mind. That's what you're gonna say, right?
yeah,
So shame on me, being a public hearing, we would now like to open it up to the public, our wonderful constituents, for any comments or questions that you might have. If you have any comments, we ask that you raise your hand and we will get to you one by one. And we just asked for, I think it's like a 2-minute allotment, state your name and address. If you can, put your camera on, all that good stuff. Give it a couple seconds here to see if any of our wonderful public or constituents want to make a comment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now I'm going to close, Mike. Is that okay?
yes, Mr. Chairman.
At this time, seeing as though that was all done correctly, the chair would entertain a motion to close the public hearing for vote by mail for April 6, 2026 annual town election.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson and a strong second by Selectman Lamoth. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse? Selectwoman Rouse?
I know. Could you read, I'm sorry, could you read, could you read that again? Is it yes for no vote by mail? We're not voting, we're opting
So
out.
we're closing the public hearing right
Oh, it's
now.
just closing.
And
Okay,
then
yes.
I'm gonna make a motion to vote in or vote out of.
Okay,
the
yes,
vote by mail.
yes, close
Let's,
out.
let's just redo that so it's nice and clean. At this time, Chair will entertain a motion to close the public hearing, vote by mail for April 6, 2026 annual town election. I believe Selectman Anderson made the motion. Selectman Lamoth made the second. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse?
Yes,
Great. Selectman Anderson?
Anderson's yes.
Selectman Harrington?
Harrington, yes.
Selectman Lamoth?
Lamoth, yes.
Chris Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. Now, the chair would entertain a motion to opt out of the vote by mail for April 6, 2026 annual town election.
So moved.
Motion made by Selectman Lamoth, second by Selectman Anderson. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse?
yes,
Selectman Anderson?
Anderson's a yes.
Selectman Harrington?
Harrington, no.
Selectman Lamoth?
Lamoth, yes.
Gallo, yes. Motion carries 4-1. Public hearing closed. Let's go to tab number 4. Tab number 4 is a pretty cool thing that I'm excited about, and this has actually been in the works for a little while. Do we have Bryant Kohut with us? Hi,
Yes, I
Bryant.
am here. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Welcome to the Wrentham Select Board meeting. So great to have you with us. I'm just going to kind of paint the broad picture for the board, the other board members that might not be familiar with this, as well as our public. So Bryant Kohut is the son, and there might be other. Are there any other family members here, Brian?
Karen's 4 grandchildren are on this call, as well as my little sister. So
Wow. Well,
So there's
we welcome the whole family to our call this evening. So what this is, you know, I got an email back, I want to say almost a year ago from Bryant, and he informed me that his mom, Karen, who unfortunately is no longer with us, was the first woman selectman in Wrentham. And I immediately was very engaged to the conversation. We started talking about different things that we could do to honor her. And in one of Bryant's original emails to me back on May 16th, you know, he told me that some pretty cool things already had happened. The 1987 annual report was dedicated to his mom, Karen, and outlined some of her civic contributions. The flyer for re-election in 1978 was, you know, like he said, a great snapshot from the time. And he says he has all of the original certificates from the Commonwealth recognizing her as the first elected selectman woman in Wrentham. The certificates in particular, he said he would like to donate to the town somehow. And I'm sure they'd be better preserved in the archives of some other similar manner. It said his mom was also covered in both the Sun Chronicle and the Woonsocket Call periodically, but their online archives don't seem to go back that far. So we just thought this would be such a cool opportunity to have Brian and his family come on as the select board and our town manager, Mike King, made a proclamation for your family in recognition of your mom. And I would love to hear town manager Mike King's thoughts of, your very generous offer of some of those records being transferred over to us. I think the historians in Wrentham in the select board, I would love to see those. Mike, is that would you agree if that's a fair assessment? He's muted. Town manager Mike King?
Yes. What I would suggest is I can work with Mr. Kohut in facilitating a conversation with the Historical Commission and talk about possibly ascensioning those records for long-term preservation and for future viewing of Wrentham residents.
I'd be pleased to do that.
Mr. Kohut, is that something that you'd be amenable to, sir?
Absolutely. That sounds great.
That's
wonderful.
I'm very excited about that. That sounds great. What I want to do before I read you and your family the proclamation, I know our select board members really enjoy this type of thing. I'm going to turn it over to our board members for any questions or comments that they might have to you and your family. And we're going to start with our amazing female select board member, Michelle Rouse.
Yes, I just want to, as the woman on this current board, thank your mom for all of her efforts to pave the way for women like myself to run and be on the select board, as well as for other committees in the town. Certainly set a precedence for all of us. And so I just want all of her grandchildren to know to carry on that amazing legacy for public service. She certainly was a pillar in that. So congratulations on this receiving this, and thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Very well said. Selectman Anderson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So this actually might come as a shock to you and your fellow board members, but I actually knew Karen Kohut.
I was hoping somebody did.
Yep. And I got to tell you, wonderful person. And she was a presence around town, not only in town government, but also in different charitable organizations throughout the town as well. So I'm happy this came forward, and more than happy to sign off on it.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing information, Jim. Thank you for now, I'm not going to throw a jab at you, referring to your age or anything right now, but I'll just say that a man of your maturity, you probably know a lot of people over the years in town, right?
Well, remember, Mr. Chairman, we're brothers.
Well said, sir. I'll turn, and thank you for the wonderful comments. I'll turn it over to Selectman Harrington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So yeah, it's a wonderful thing that she did back in those days. I'm sure it was much, difficult back in '77 to run for a select board. Quite frankly, it's challenging now. I can't even imagine what it would have been that many years ago. And I'm sure budgets and Wrentham in '77 was probably a much different town than it is today. So I'm sure she had her hands full trying to run the town and make it better then to bring it to the future today that it is. Just want to thank her and you for bringing it forward. Thank you.
Well said. Well said. Selectman Lamothe?
Brian, it sure looks like she was a pillar in the town, and her dedication was at least a decade. How long did she serve?
12 years, I believe.
Well, very
12
good.
years total.
Well, thank you for her service.
I think it was two
bringing-
terms as selectman, and then one as chairman of the board. I'm not sure how many years that was.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and thank you all your children, grandchildren. That's great.
4 years.
Thank you.
3 years. Your terms. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Were they always 3-year terms, Mike? Do you know?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I believe they were. Also back then, it was a 3-member board, not a 5-member board.
Oh yeah, interesting. So even more work. So yeah, this is awesome. I already spoke. So Brian, I'm just going to read the proclamation. And Mike, how are we going to get him this proclamation?
Seeing that Mr. Coed is out of state, we will be mailing it to him.
Okay. I was going to say, you're not expecting me to drive it there. But no, this is great. We'll mail you this. And as needed, we can make copies for the family. We just want you to know this is awesome. And we're so proud of the accomplishments of your mom. So, and you guys, and to Michelle's point, I think Michelle nailed it. This is such a great example for your family, right? Carry the tradition on as this board can attest. Public service is not easy, but it's one of the most rewarding things I've done in my 46 years living on this wonderful planet. So I strongly encourage you and your family members to keep that tradition going. Without good public service, we don't have good government. So with that being said, proclamation reads as such. Whereas in 1977, Karen E. Kohut was elected as the first woman selectman in the town of Wrentham, and whereas her groundbreaking achievement as the first woman selectman in Wrentham represents a significant milestone and paved the way for future generations. And whereas Ms. Kohut faithfully and conscientiously served the town of Wrentham and its citizens through consistent hard work and dedication to the community. And whereas Ms. Kohut was the chair of the Board of Selectmen and also served on the Capital Expenditures Committee, Personnel by Law Study Committee, and School Building Committee. And now, therefore, it be proclaimed we honor Karen Elizabeth Kohut for her legacy and service to the town of Wrentham and its citizens. In witness thereof, we have set our hand to cause the seal of the town of Wrentham to be affixed here to this 20th day of January, 2026. Signed, the Wrentham Select Board, Chris Gallo, Michelle Rouse, Bill Harrington, James Anderson, Roy Lamoth, and Michael King, our town manager. Hope you enjoyed that. It's the least we could do. And I just want to thank you again, Bryant, for bringing this to my attention and Mike King's attention. And we're so glad that we could finally get this on an agenda and get this taken care of.
I really want to thank everybody for jumping on this and the great communication. And I really feel very.
You should be proud, my friend. It's great to have you. It's great to meet you. And feel free to stick around for the rest of our meeting. But yeah, just congratulations to you and your family. I wish you a great evening, okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you,
You're very
everyone.
welcome.
Good, Brian.
Okay, we're going to get back to our other business. And at this time, we're very fortunate to go to tab 5 as we have a Council on Aging update. With us, we have Janet Angelico. And she is the director, for those who don't know, the director of the Council on Aging. And we also have in our packet, there was an email update from Kendra Farling. We could read that into the record before we turn it over to Janet, if that's amenable to Selectman Harrington.
Absolutely. This one?
Yes.
So that's a letter from Kendra Farling. Hi, Mike. Unfortunately, I do not do Zoom, which is required for BOS meetings. However, I would like to offer the following in regard to the COA and Senior Center. Recently, we have updated the building's locking system, the HVAC system, and the new freezer. The COA stays on top of all maintenance and upkeep through Glenn Gillespie. He has been very easy to work with and always responds to any issue promptly. Currently, he is trying to repair the refrigerator. Future concerns. Our bus has over 69,000 miles on it, but is responsibility of GATRA. Our car has been on the capital budget for 2 years, so we will be looking to replace it soon. We are concerned about the large old pine trees surrounding the senior center. We would like to take back the issue of appointments to the COA. Last year was a difficult one in regards to member reappointments. We hope to be moving forward. The communication can be improved upon. I would like to add one more item regarding the side door to the parking lot. I think it would be much safer if it had a window. I'd be grateful if you would report these items to the BOS meeting on January 22nd. Thank you, Kenneth Farling, COA Chair.
All right, thank you, Selectman Harrington. And let me take a step back here. So if you're wondering, if anyone listening is wondering why we're doing this, this board is hugely committed as per our goals and our objectives through the strategic plan, that, you know, we want to increase communication and civic engagement is a big goal of this board. And we want to increase communication between all the departments and between our board and all the boards and commissions and departments that we have in the town. We feel that communication is key. So what we've been doing strategically as our agendas allow, we've been inviting different boards and commissions on our meetings. We've been talking to either the chair people or the executive directors. In this case, the director, Janet, just to talk, just to let everyone know at the Council of Aging that this board is here. We're very active. We listen, we respond. We work very closely with Town Manager Mike King on any issues that are brought to our attention. But more importantly, we just want you to know that we're here as a resource and we appreciate all the hard work that the COA does. So I just want to set the tone for that. Selectman Harrington, thank you for reading that into the record. And at this time, I'd like to welcome Janet Angelico to our meeting. And Janet, we just want to say hello, thank you. And, per my comment there, please feel free to address the board however you see fit.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Thank you all for inviting the COA to come speak with you this evening. I know Kendra was unable to do it because she unfortunately does not do Zoom and doesn't have that capability. I'm actually hanging by a thread here on an old iPad, but it's working, so we'll keep crossing my fingers on that one. Our COA board works very hard to aid the senior center in keeping up what we do at the senior center. I know the list that Kendra read. I have to comment that we're very appreciative to the town. I can tell you that it's been a long time before things were addressed that were an issue. And what we find now is that the town really reacts quickly to any issues that we have. And I can't thank the facilities people enough for what they do, and they're always out there working hard for us. Any issues, any problems we have, they're there for us. So I wanted to make that comment. But the board is a very supportive board for the Council on the Council on Aging, the Senior Center, and we appreciate them very much. One of the comments I wanted to make tonight was the amount of services that we now provide to the town and the fact that they are growing tremendously. And we're seeing that we're beginning to bust at the seams at the Council on Aging, and just wanted to put that out there for the selectmen, just so you know what's happening. We have huge amounts of classes and activities and people. Today we had cribbage with 26 people at the same time, painting with 16 people, and then chair massages with 12 people. And so it's quite a busy place. And we're beginning to see that the room issue is becoming harder and harder. So we're hoping that that's something in the future that the town can address. So, and then on the other end of what we do, the social service part of what the senior center does is also exploding, as you can well imagine. Transportation is a huge issue for seniors and the disabled, actually, and getting rides for them to appointments that they need to make is almost a full-time job itself. Fuel assistance in the town is growing, as you can well imagine. Everyone knows the cost of gas and electricity now. So that's another issue that Robin Tobin, our outreach worker, handles, and that just for the whole town, not just for seniors, but for everyone. And then food assistance, of course, is always an issue. And that's something we try to keep on top of. So we're finding that our services and our activities are growing tremendously, and we just, it's always an ongoing issue to keep up with it. So,
No, that's fantastic news. And I know you know this, but I want to say it, how much this board cares about you, your staff, and our seniors, our senior population in this town. They're a treasured group of people, and we want to, obviously make sure we're doing everything we can to help you provide them with all of these things that they deserve to get, need, and I would say too, let this board know if there's events that come up and you need help, volunteers. I'm sure this board would be happy to show up and volunteer for an event or two. But I've said enough. I want to turn it over to the other board members. Janet, thank you so much for everything you do for us. And please continue to keep in touch and let us know how we can help you. We're going to turn it over to Selectwoman Rouse.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Chair. Janet, so good to see you. Thank you
Good to see
and the
you.
Council of Aging. I am amazed every month when I read your bulletin in terms of the activities and services that you are offering those in town. Amazing, spectacular. So thank you for
Thank
all of
you.
those efforts. And also your social services. I know personally I've reached out to you and Robin for advice for a resident in town, and you were so quick to respond with so many different resources and suggestions. So I know how you guys work. It's amazing, and thank you so much. I do have a question. Can you just give some clarification? So the Gatra bus and the car, do they do the same sort of thing, getting people to appointments, or do you use them in a different way?
We generally use them in a different way. The bus, of course, is for the seniors and Wrentham disabled citizens to take them to appointments, errands, shopping, that type of thing.
Yeah.
We do occasionally use the car for that reason if we have a conflict with transportation services, or if the bus for any reason is out of commission, which doesn't happen that often, but it can. But the car is more for, Robin uses it a lot for outreach,
Okay.
to go visit people, or she'll spend time at, say, Liberty Pines.
Yeah.
Or, Garden Lane to go visit seniors up there. So that's generally what that car is used for. Yes.
Excellent. Thanks for the explanation. Appreciate it. Again, good to see you and thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Great. Selectman Anderson?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, Janet. First of all, I just want to say it's
Hi,
so nice
Jim.
to see you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I only have really a comment. I've known Janet for many, many years. She's always done a tremendous job at the senior center. She's a very caring woman. And Janet, I would just ask you, keep up the good work. And I'll let go the sentiments of Chairman Gallo, that if there's anything we can do to be of assistance, please feel free to reach out to our office.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. We're showing our age, Jim.
Well, according to our Chairman Gallo.
Jim, excuse me. I didn't say anything about Janet Angelico. I'm just kidding. You both look fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Before I get myself in trouble, let's move on to Selectman Harrington.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, good segue. Yeah, so, Janet, great. We greatly appreciate the work you do, and it does amaze me how many programs that you put on a daily basis for the seniors. It's great. Some of your requests on this little list here don't look out of hand. And obviously we'll get together with Mike and Glenn and see if there's some of the items we can help you with. And again, like Selectman Anderson said, if there's anything the board can do, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Selectman Lamoth.
You.
That was me. Janet, thank you very much. Everyone's really appreciative of the kind of work you've been doing in the years you've been doing it. I just have a curiosity type question. How many of the seniors find their way to the events that you sponsor at the senior center, and how many do you have to transport?
It can vary on the event. If it's a, say, a 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, 60K, 70K, 80K, 90K, 100K, 150K, 200K, 300K, 400K, 500K, Roy, it can be, we have very popular classes. And then we have things that are more, like a yoga class, which is more like 8 to 10 people, which is fine because that's more a subtle type class. But then we have the things that are extremely popular. And one of them, which I'm really proud of, is cribbage because it brings out retired men. And I have to tell you, it's very difficult to get a retired gentleman to come in to a senior center. So that's one of the things that we can draw a large group of people, which really helps us get to know them and to connect with them. And then if they have any issues, they feel freer to come to us to talk about it. So those are the kind of things we do. And then I can show you an example. We had a trip that opened up today, Tall Ships, that's going in July. And literally 50 slots were filled within a few hours from
Wow.
Wrentham residents, because we always start with Wrentham residents first. So that was an extremely popular activity that filled up right away. And we find that a lot of our things do fill up right away, and we have to unfortunately have a waiting list. But for the most part, we have very good participation in what we do at the senior center.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the tall ships in Boston, or are they in Providence?
Boston. Yeah.
Okay.
Boston.
How old do you have to be to go to this?
60.
Mr. Chairman,
You could be
Chairman.
Jim's guest.
I think
Hey,
they're
listen.
a little bit too young. Okay.
All right.
He
Thank
can
you,
drive.
sir.
He can drive the bus.
I'll drive the bus.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. See that? All joking aside, such a testament to the great work you guys are doing. So, to Selectman Harrington's point, we'll look at that list and work with Mike King and Glenn and see what we can help you out with. And to Selectman Anderson's point, and Selectman Lamoth and Selectwoman Rouse, let us know how we can help you. And again, we just want to have you on. Tell Kendra we really appreciate all her hard work as well. And make sure the seniors know how much this board and this town cares about them and wants them to be happy.
Thank you. Thanks so much. We have a great staff. The senior center work together well, and the Council on Aging is so supportive. And yeah, we just, as long as our biggest issue is to make people aware of what we do and, what happens out there and what the seniors are in need of. So thank you.
Great. Well, listen, have a wonderful evening and keep in touch. Have a great
Thank
evening.
you.
Thanks again. Okay.
Thank you.
Mike, I'm going to take something out of order here. I want to bang this snow and ice thing out. So can we go to tab 8 real quick? Because this is going to be a real quick one, and then we'll jump on the strategic plan. So if everyone can please go to tab 8, we have our annual snow and ice deficit notice. We have Christine Dupris with us, a finance director and town accountant. We also have obviously our town manager here. Mike, who wants to take the lead with this, yourself or Christine?
You know what? Christine doesn't get a lot of face time with the board. I'll turn it over to Christine.
I was hoping you'd say that. Christine, welcome to our board meeting.
Thank
you for being here. Can you give us a high level understanding of what this is and what we're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, of course. So this is the annual notification that the snow and ice budget has exceeded its appropriation of $150,000 and is now in deficit. Mass General Law allows us to deficit spend on snow and ice operations as long as we appropriate equal to or more than the prior year, which we always do. We've historically used free cash to fund the deficit at the end of the year. And this is not uncommon. This happens every year. You might be familiar with it.
Yes, we are. And I'm going to ask you the question I ask every year in case there's someone new listening. People often say, well, if you have to, if we overspend, why don't we just raise the budget and that additional budget line item or increase the line item?
Good question. Once you increase the budget, you can't decrease it.
Excellent point.
So you can't decrease it. You're married to it. So it's best to just leave it alone.
So it's good municipal finance procedure to leave it alone and then do what we're doing right now. This is the best practice, correct?
I agree. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Christine. Board members, this is protocol. We do this every year, but I want to give you the opportunity. Does anyone have any questions or comments before we make the motion? Seeing none, Christine, thank you so much for being with us this evening and explaining that to the board. Appreciate that, and thanks for you and your team, all the hard work you do for us in our town. And at this time, the chair, Mike, do I have to approve this, or is this just to let us know?
This is just an FYI. The town manager has the authority to sign off on the expenditure. So this is providing a notice to the board.
Well,
So no action.
Thank you for doing that, and thank you for saving me a step. Now at this time, we're going to move things over to tab number 6. So this is the last item, I think, on our agenda besides public comment. As the board very well knows, we've been working very closely with Bill Keegan and his team on our capital strategic plan. His team and his team have put a lot of work into this, and so is our board and town manager Mike King, Greg, Amanda, everybody. So Bill, welcome back. Welcome to one of our meetings via Zoom. Please, feel free to take over, as I believe this is the culmination of a lot of hard work really putting this together. I do want to just set the stage quickly, just so my fellow board members know, we're not looking for a formal adoption this evening. This is supposed to be kind of a high-level presentation on where we're at. Obviously, we want to be able to communicate freely, but if we have anything that's, that you think we need to dive into, in the spirit of keeping the meeting kind of moving along, we would ask that you send an email to Bill, Mike King, and myself with any topics that we can't resolve, in a few minutes, I'd say. So at that time, I just want to turn it over to Bill. Thanks so much for being here, Bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good to see all of the board members and the staff members that may be listening on tonight as well. I've been working with all of you in developing this very important plan. I know that, Amanda, we have a presentation to give you. It's about 15 slides long, so we'll try and get through it fairly quickly. And thank you for sharing that now. So the strategic planning process began back in October of 2025 with meetings with the department heads, and then with the board of selectmen, or the select board, as the more modern name is referred to. And we started the process off using questionnaires for both the department heads as well as for the board members. And we took that information, and then we started to develop what is now going to be referred to as the Wrentham Strategic Plan. Now, if we can go ahead and start with the first slide, Amanda, you can go to the next slide, please. So why do we need a strategic plan in Wrentham? Well, a lot of great communities actually do this because it actually helps many communities develop a roadmap forward. More often than not, there's a lot of different competing interests in cities and towns in Massachusetts and throughout the country, where the focus gets drawn away more often than not to issues that suddenly just become important in the community. What this does is to remind people that we have a number of issues that we've identified that actually are ones that are considered priorities for the town to try and get completed over the next 2 to 3 years. So what the plan does is provide an internal alignment on shared priorities for the town. It defines the town's mission and vision statements and core values, which many communities, believe it or not, do not have, but which actually help define the reasons why you do the work that you do, and the reasons and the vision for what the community is going to look like in the years ahead. So the community then becomes much more mission driven in that approach. Plans like this encourage solution thinking between department heads and town administration and the select board combined. So it's not just one group versus the other. It's a combined thinking that actually helps to provide results that make sense for the community going forward. And it also helps to establish short and long-term strategic goals for the town. By that we mean that you'll see throughout the plan later on that there's several goals in various areas and subtopics that we'll be getting into that show the important priorities that the community has established for the town over the next few years. And lastly, it establishes a work plan for achieving those goals. Like, it's one thing to have goals, but also what we've tried to do and provided for you in this plan is a work plan to actually get those goals done. So what we've done is we've assigned work to individuals, plus we've also then provided a timeline to get that work done. Next slide, please. And the next one, that'd be great. So what we have done and what we've achieved over the past several months, and this is based upon conversations we've had with both department heads and with the board directly, is Wrentham's mission statement. And what this is a culmination of many thoughts and ideas as to what really is what the community is all about and what it is that drives us to do the work that you do in the community. And what it says is that it is the established mission of the town of Wrentham to provide high quality, transparent, and fiscally responsible services to the community that supports public safety, education, businesses, and recreational opportunities while preserving Wrentham's small town character by planning responsibly and actively engaging with our residents. There's a lot of things packed into that statement, which are really, really critical and important for the community to try to embrace. What we do with a statement like this, it tells the entire world and particularly the Wrentham community as a whole that these are the things that are important and what drive us to do the work that we do for you as residents. And I think that's putting these things in writing and putting them into a form of a statement like this says a lot about the community and what it means to drive quality in what you do. Next statement. Next slide, please. The next one is the Wrentham's vision statement, and what we use this for, and this is really important for, is to what we think the community should look like and aspire to be in the next several years. And this could take as long as it takes to get there, but what we want to do is that we want to tell people that we do have a roadmap to where we want to go. And so the town of Wrentham in this statement says they aspire to be a welcoming, resilient, and connected community with a strong small town character that provides economic opportunities for all while maintaining a modern infrastructure. We are a place where voices matter and all generations thrive. And what's significant about that is that, you notice that word small town character is identified actually in both the mission statement and the vision statement. And I think that's actually a critical statement from where I sit as a person who tries to put these plans together, is that what you've identified as board members and as town department heads and leaders in the community is that the small town character is very, very important to what the town of Wrentham is all about. People move here for a reason, and being a small town community that provides great services is a reason why they're here for the most part. Next slide, please. So we then move on to what I refer to as the core values, and so these are individual words or statements that actually define what the work is, that what goes into the work that gets provided that goes into providing the services in the town, and what it defines is the ability that what drives the work that we want to provide, as well as the fact that we're actually proud of the things that we do, and this is and these are the kind of core values that we take when we actually think about the decisions that are made and what kind of services that we provide. So we strive to be transparent, accountable, professional, quality focused, responsive, fiscally responsible, collaborative, and responsible stewards of effectively taxpayers' dollars. Next slide, please. So when we did when we took the two questionnaire processes, the one from the select board and the one from the department heads, we had a number of different responses, things that were identified as what were the things that you think are most important for the town to do, and a lot of things were identified by individual departments as what was important in their department. But what we tried to focus on are the things that were actually most important from a community-wide basis. And what we did was effectively come down, excuse me, to 8 key outcome areas. And these outcome areas are defined as governance and communication, facilities and capital infrastructure, budget and fiscal health, personnel, staffing and culture, technology and innovation, housing options, economic development, and performance and accountability. So they're actually 8 different, actually very significantly different types of outcome areas, but there are several priorities that are listed underneath each one of those areas. And we go into how we define the key outcome areas in the next few slides. You can move on. The next slide, please. So the first is the governance and communication priorities, and the definition of governance and community priorities is the process of enhancing the delivery of public services. Let me see, just want to move this over here. Process of enhancing the delivery of public services by improving internal and external communication capabilities. This is accomplished through increased community outreach and engagement, proactive and internal communication, leading to the strengthening of interdepartmental coordination and taking all necessary steps to ensure transparency and accountability in the town's actions. A strong emphasis is placed on professionalism in all interactions with our customers. Now, I'm not going to list the individual areas for the short term, midterm, and long term. Those are actually, they all speak for themselves. But I think what's important here is that we've taken these individual priorities, and it's interesting to note, as I was listening to your meeting tonight a few minutes ago, you actually were focusing on how you communicate and talk to different boards and the community itself. And I appreciate you're effectively taking the steps of the plan and putting it to work even before the plan is actually delivered to you. So I appreciate that a lot. So hopefully we've actually struck a few chords with everybody.
No, we
Next slide,
were trying to get some brownie points with you. So
there you go. Well, you scored some, so there you go.
Thank you.
The next slide, please. Next slide. Oh. There we go. So the next one is budget and fiscal health priorities. The town is committed to operating financially responsible with strong emphasis on long-term sustainability. This includes consistently identifying new and realistic funding pathways with supporting operational needs to the greatest extent possible, remaining fiscally nimble by addressing both short and long-term funding needs for the community, while always remaining focused on being strong stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. I mean, that's about as financially responsible statement as you can make. And by the way, what's important about having this kind of a plan is that it's noted that, and congratulations for doing this, is that each year the community has been actually in contention to receive the GFOA budget award. And the GFOA loves statements like this. They just and not only, the other agency who loves this is companies like Standard & Poor's, who does your bond rating. They want to see that you've actually taken the time to put a professional twist on all the work that you do, and you basically are not afraid to come out and state it to everybody who wants to listen to it. That's really, really critically important, and it speaks well to the professional organization that you currently have. Next slide, please. The next one was personnel and culture and staffing priorities. Now, this one's we got a lot of responses from the various department heads indicating that they really would like to, that a lot of folks think that we could actually use some additional staffing help in various departments, but it was difficult to actually make those decisions absent any kind of a staffing plan, a strategic staffing plan that really is not in place at this time. However, the process of maintaining high quality services in the community, but by defining a staffing plan that is both efficient and realistic towards supporting daily operations is important. This includes strong emphasis on best practices in recruitment, hiring and retention, a high level focus on staff training and professional development, leading to strategic alignment with succession plan. This is actually a very critical area for all cities and towns right now, because there is a challenge in filling positions in government in and of itself. But more importantly, that there needs to be more of a focus on professional development within the organizations so that you can actually have your own succession plan for each one of the positions that you currently have. That means that anybody who aspires to grow in an organization can actually do some professional training and then follow along in the development of those individuals so that they can actually be in a position someday to compete for those positions when they become vacant. And I strongly encourage every city and town to take that approach because it's difficult to reach outside the organization and bring someone in with a skill set many times that aligns quickly with the needs of the organization. So there are times when that's appropriate, but more often than not, there are times when it's more important to actually develop people internally and hope that you don't have to look outside the organization to do that. All right, next slide, please. Technology is again another very important area, and this is where the organization as a whole really wanted to focus on innovation priorities. This is an organization that's committed towards being technologically innovatively driven in our work. We consistently utilize technology to enhance work efficiency and for the development of transparent information to the benefit of the public. This requires continuously modernizing software and hardware. We recognize the benefit of pursuing the use of artificial intelligence to improve efficiency and to further pursue the alignment of internal systems. Now, I don't think I need to tell many folks that how important AI is becoming, and it's really important that we've acknowledged it here, and it's part of the overall thinking and strategic considerations of how technology is going to be provided to cities to the community overall going forward. So this plan includes and acknowledges that, and actually has a way to address it going forward. Next slide, please. Then the next important one was housing options. I think we all know how important housing is for each community around Massachusetts, and how housing has become very expensive, and it's challenging for communities to actually have options for the individuals within the community to grow and to stay in the community to consider for the long term. But here in Wrentham, housing options are achieved by encouraging housing development that exhibits controlled and reasonable growth. You strive to try to balance the town's housing needs with existing conservation plans. So in other words, you're not just growing haphazardly, you're actually considering that very seriously. You support the housing plans that do not overburden town services, and you respect the small town nature of the community, which was acknowledged several times in previous slides. You also acknowledge the need to develop long-range housing options for both elder and younger segments of the population. And that goes without saying, and I think it's really critical that it gets acknowledged as part of your strategic plan. Next slide, please. The next is economic development priorities. The town is committed to strengthening its tax base for the purpose of providing financial resources to support high-quality service for the community. This includes pursuing new developments that will will be sustainable over the long term. You have a strategic focus on Route 1 corridor development, downtown revitalization, and you support small businesses. Clearly, the biggest taxpayer in the community is the mall, is the Wrentham Village, which actually provides a significant amount of economic support for the community, and it's a great business to have in town. But you're looking at other areas along Route 1 now to see as that area starts to evolve. I think one of the things that will have to be looked at is the development of infrastructure capacity that will help develop Route 1 in a way that makes sense. But there's a lot of open land along that area, and it's an opportunity that has to be looked at going forward, particularly as part of the visionary piece of the plan that we've outlined here. Next slide, please. This is the last of the priorities, but a very important one. This is a commitment to performing the organization's duties and responsibilities through a data-driven decision-making process. This includes measuring service quality by establishing clear and definable benchmarks, and by utilizing municipally based key performance indicators, otherwise known as KPIs, to measure our performance across all departments. So it's not only a commitment that we want to do the work right, but we're also willing to actually measure our performance through data-driven decision-making items. So in other words, what we want to do is take a look at what other communities are doing in terms of providing measurements for this type of work, the type of work in municipalities, and look for ways that can actually be used to develop key performance indicators. So those are measurements that will be considered throughout the year. And I think this is a really important document in that regard. So that as actually will be a good performance indicator for the budget itself, and actually could be used as a budget planning document, utilizing the performance indicators in each department. Next slide, please. So to sort of wrap things up, what I made a key, fairly bold statement here by saying, work the plan. So now that you have a plan, what I encourage you to do is to work that plan so that as the plan has been presented to the town. CSS respects, that's the firm that is the firm that I represent, respected the board's desire to focus on short and long-term priorities, with the longest term for a priority to be 2 to 3 years. That was the board's desire. And I think that was done, obviously very purposefully, because obviously the terms of office are in the 2 to 3 or 4 range, in terms of what you do. But also it also provides realistic assignments and priorities so that it can be, so you actually will see some real things get done based upon that timeline. Sometimes when you put timelines out 5, 10, 15 years, they sound like good ideas, but more often than not, they get lost in other priorities that come in their place. This is having them in the 2-3 year priority range is actually a very workable approach that you've adopted here. So each priority will be assigned to someone or a group of individuals. I actually define that in the plan itself, which I encourage you to read and to look at and determine if certain pieces, certain assignments can be moved around or should be changed altogether. But it should be reviewed annually. So it's a working document. So that's why I say work the plan means that you can actually change it as if necessary. But as things roll off, as things get completed, you can pop in new priorities so to be looked at for the next year. But really, what's important here, and this should be reviewed annually, is that what this is a very important budget planning document. And so I do encourage you to do this, review the plan annually prior to developing the budget to make sure everyone sees, particularly the community as a whole, that you're making progress in what you said you were going to do and set as priorities. So in regard to assign of responsibilities, the plan contemplates assigning priorities to individuals or groups of individuals to get that work done. This assignment means that they are the ones responsible to complete the work associated with that particular priority and then report back to the town as to what they've done. You want to evaluate biannually and annually a progress to review. It should be conducted prior to the start of the next budget planning cycle to determine how the work is progressing for each priority. And then finally, the priority review as assignments get completed or in the process, if the progress on the priority is delayed or any unforeseeable reason, the town, as part of the biannual annual review process, should actually determine if the priority should be revisited. And I think that's important because sometimes things should happen and it's just not achievable during that time frame. So you can either push it out or you can reprioritize something else that should be considered until that situation remedies itself and gets repaired over the coming months and years. So next slide, please. I do believe that's it yes, it is. So that's the summary, sort of the executive level summary of what you've done during the past 4 months. I'm grateful for the work that you've all done and the fact that you've really been engaged in this process, because this is your plan. It's not my plan. It's your plan. I just have actually helped you get there, but it's all based on your work and what's important to the town of Wrentham. And it's been a pleasure working with all of you to try and achieve that. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll turn it back to you.
Bill, thank you very much for that. I want to thank you as well for all the hard work that you put into meeting with us, meeting with all the department heads, and getting to this point where we're at today. As we've said to you, the strategic plan is very important to us because it encompasses our goals and objectives, and those are the things that we kind of charge Mike King with in everything that he does. His budget directive, all of the things that we ask him to accomplish every year. So Mike, I know we've already discussed this, but my 2 cents, obviously, before we turn it over to the other board members, per our conversations and per the board's conversations, we want to make sure that we continue to implement this into our annual review of all of our goals and strategic objectives, and make sure, before, like Bill said, before we roll out the budget initiative, we make sure that we review this annually, biannually, to see how we're doing and then make adjustments as needed. And I think this is going to serve this board and hopefully many, many, many more boards after us to come. So with that being said, thank you, Bill. I'd like to turn it over to the other select board members for questions, comments, concerns. We'll start with Selectwoman Rouse. You're on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bill, I just want to thank you for summarizing and incorporating all of our thoughts and processes during this project planning. You did a great job really getting into what was important to us and putting that together in a great, understandable document. So thank you for your time and efforts with it.
No, you're quite welcome. Thank you.
Sorry, that was my fault. I was thinking someone else was good. Selectman Anderson.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
up.
Yeah. So Bill, I just want to thank you and your team for helping the town of Wrentham put this document together. Reading through this document, there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I'm looking forward to hopefully with my fellow board members and town officials is implementing some of this stuff and making sure the town continues to grow and move forward. So thank you again, Bill.
You're quite welcome. Thank you, Jim.
Selectman Harrington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Bill, yeah, you made the process very easy, very workable. Your explanations as to, where we were going and what we were doing, certainly made the process a lot pretty efficient and very fluid. It's a great document. I look forward to working with it, with our select board and town employees.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Selectman Lamoth.
Bill, thank you very much. You set the guard rails for us to work within, and a great vision that the team has put together. So thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Mike King, do you have anything to add?
So I'll just reiterate, if any select board members have further comments or something that they see that they think needs to be adjusted, to send an email to Mr. Keegan, Chairman Gallo, and myself. And the intention would be, barring any major overhauls that are proposed, to adopt the strategic plan at the next select board meeting.
Great.
Sounds fantastic. So please get those emails over to us when you can, board members, so that we can be ready to adopt at the next meeting if possible. At this time, if there's no further discussion, again, thank you, Bill and your team. I'd like to turn the meeting back over to Town Manager King for his town manager report.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
would you like me to do my town manager report before public comment?
No, you know what? You're right. I crossed out. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I crossed out public comment before I gave an opportunity. So let me back up. I apologize. Thank you for keeping me in line. Before we get to the town manager report, we are going to do public comment as we always do. Residents who wish to participate in public comment will be allotted 2 minutes to speak and must state their name and address for the record. At the start of comment, a timer will be sent via messenger from Amanda Vazzapolo. It should be visible on the top of the screen, and an alarm will chime when your time is up. Please, anyone would like to make a comment, go right ahead. Give it a couple of seconds here. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Mr. King, back to you for town manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a few updates for the board this evening. I'd like to start with the FY27 budget. As a reminder, departmental budgets are due February 2nd. We're still early on in the budget process. But we've had some favorable information on some of our fixed costs. Property, liability, and workers' comp insurance have some favorable renewal rates, as well as we got information on a low assessment for the Norfolk County retirement system. In terms of fixed costs, our biggest budget driver in that regard is usually health insurance. We don't have that number as of yet. We will be receiving that later in February when the rates are set. Additionally, one update that I have in terms of the FY27 budget, it involves Tri-County. It did receive its excess and deficiency certification, which is the regional school district equivalent of free cash. It was greater than 5% of its operating budget, which results in a reduction in FY27 member assessments to towns that are a member of the Tri-County system. So that means there's going to be about $1.3 million that will be used to lower the assessment of member towns, which is favorable for us for budgeting purposes. I have a further update on the MVP 2.0. So we had our kickoff meeting last week with the MVP 2.0 core team on developing an update to the town's 2018 municipal vulnerability preparedness plan. Attendees included representatives from town departments, as well as town residents who applied to be community ambassadors. They provide local perspectives and outreach for the project. Updating the MVP plan will position Wrentham to apply for grant funding. This can be for culverts, dams, and stormwater infrastructure in particular. In addition, by updating its plan, Wrentham is guaranteed seed funding of $50,000 for a locally selected project. I have an additional update on the World Cup Working Group. On January 7th, we had our World Cup Working Group kickoff meeting where there was significant discussion surrounding public safety impacts of the World Cup events, as well as how the town can support the business community during this time. The working group will meet regularly in advance of the games, including tomorrow. We have our next meeting where one of the topics of focus will be outreach to the local business community on possible opportunities, as well as what the impacts could be in advance of the World Cup games. And my last update, today is the first day for the new Norfolk town administrator. His name is Rob Garrity. We wish him the best in his new role. I look forward to developing a relationship with Mr. Garrity as a KP town partner, and in working with him to strengthen some of the regional initiatives, such as the Metacomet Public Health Alliance and the Metacomet Emergency Communications Center, where both Wrentham and Norfolk are members. And that concludes my report.
Game day chili cheese sliders.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. King, for that. We appreciate that. I would also just like to welcome the new town manager of Norfolk, and I'd also welcome the opportunity, Mr. King, to have a welcome meeting at some point with yourself, the town manager, and maybe the select board chair of Norfolk, and then maybe we could also do it with invite Plainville as well. As our board knows, Wrentham and Plainville town managers and select board chairs have tried to develop a much stronger working relationship. We just understand that, being, the KP towns, it's so important for us to have good working relationships. And this started with Joe Botash, but he's passed it on to myself and the current chairman of the select board in Plainville, Brian Kelly. And we've just, really enjoyed getting to work more collaborative. And I hope that we can do the same thing with Norfolk. I think it's only going to be a benefit to our residents and taxpayers. So appreciate that update. Thank you for all your updates. Does anyone have any questions or concerns for the town manager regarding his town manager report? Seeing none, we're going to move to the next and last agenda item, which is an executive session pursuant to Mass General Law C-30A 21A. So at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law Chapter 30A, Section 21A, discussion of strategy with respect to litigation, and only return to open session for the purposes of adjournment.
So moved.
Motion made by Selectman Harrington, second by Selectman Anderson. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse,
Yes.
Selectman Anderson,
Yes.
Selectman Harrington,
Harrington, yes.
Selectman Lamothe,
Lamothe, yes.
Chris Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. We're now in executive session.
Aye.
And with us, we have Attorney Matt Provencher, Town Council. As everyone remembers,